To support the people of Ukraine and Romero, the grandfather of Doom, is releasing a new Doom 2 level for a donation. 100% of the proceeds go towards those agencies. You can head over to Romero.com to purchase the new Doom 2 level, or you can donate to the American Red Cross through the fundraiser through this video or others on my channel. Check out Romero.com at the link in the description.
Dragon Ball, horror, kaiju, and more. Steven Story Reviews.
Hello there, collectors. Steven here, and I'm back with another Doom Eternal review, and we're going to keep on keeping on with the in-game vinyl figures produced by Numskull. There are going to be some other alternatives out there, but these are going to be the vinyl figures from Numskull. They're going to clock in at about $40 or so. I picked mine up from GameStop, and you can do the same as well. They do have them at Big Bad Toy Store. Links will be in the description for you for ease of access. Today we're going to be taking a look at Wave 3, which is going to include nothing but super heavies. They know how to market these. We're going to be taking a look at the Archvile, and Fireborn Baron. Baron of Hell? Baron of Hell. Yeah, for some reason they just started off with the Fireborn Baron and they just got rid of him. I don't know. I think they kind of realized that no one is going to go with the Fireborn Baron. But anyway, we have the Crucible fodder, and then we just have the shield bash with the ice bomb here. And quite frankly, I'm so happy that these are here. I just really need the Cyber Demon and the Gladiator, maybe Kanye, and then I'll be set personally. But now we have these two in hand, and these are rather interesting designs with a lot of intricate details. Are these going to be really good, or should they just go away and be trapped in hell with the remains of Devoth? Well, let's take a look to see whether or not they're going to be worth adding into your collection. Pretty safe to say, I think that the Baron of Hell is going to be a lower cast than the Archvile in terms of demons, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Baron first. And I do have to say that underneath first impressions, you may say that his blades on his forearms are a little sloppy, but don't worry, we'll take a look at his in-game model soon. Yeah, that'll be at the end. But anyway, for the overall detailing of Baron of Hell, I do have to say that the first thing that sort of jumped out at me is that his head, his torso, and the majority of his legs, it kind of looks like the innards at least, they're going to be more so matte in terms of the paint application, or at least the casting of the vinyl. Maybe it was just cast in that nice blue plastic and then painted over, whereas his arms, the blue parts anyway, and the outside of his legs, they're actually going to be relatively glossy, and I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I don't know if it was just because they didn't apply any paint application, they forgot to add a sealant of some sort. Dunno. I wasn't there at the factory, but otherwise I do have to say that the quality control for these figures has definitely taken a step up, including when we take a look at the Archvile. The blades on his arms, they do have a nice dry brushing effect there, and honestly, it kind of looks a bit amateurish, but that effect in and of itself, the only downside is that it doesn't really go up the entirety of the blade. It's only going to be for about the top half or so, but this lends it very well to the idea that those blades are going to be on fire. It's not an issue whatsoever. It's very good. Overall, in terms of quality and sculpt, and I guess you might say accuracy, I think the Baron of Hell does look pretty dang good. Now for the Archvile, or should I say Guy Fieri arms. Yeah, I don't think that the Archvile looks very on point compared to the actual in-game demon, but in terms of the collectible that Doom Guy picks up, well, we'll take a side-by-side look in just a bit. But I think that the Archvile here has some pretty nice detailing on him. Again, we do have the Guy Fieri arms, which are not just going to be yellow and orange just as a random tone shift. There is a nice gradient that is applied there. The teeth are actually nicely defined, even from a distance. Though they're one color, you can actually make out the individual ones, which is very nice. We do have some exposed muscle that's going to be found on the head. We're going to find that in the shoulders, the trap area, and on the stomach. And what's even really cool is that even though I would have to say that's going to be armor, the sort of purple part there in the middle of the head kind of looks like exposed brain. And I think that's cool. Though, let's be honest here. How often does this Archvile have any brains in Doom Eternal? Yeah. Crucible. Chop them up. Little meaty bits. The eyes also have a little bit of a gradient to them, which I think is the icing on the cake. Overall, I think the Archvile, at least mine anyway, does not have a single quality control issue, and he looks fantastic. Fantastic. Now to talk about the articulation, which honestly, they do advertise the articulation, but there's not a whole lot to write home about here. Just to talk about the Archvile real quick, since I actually have him physically in hand recording the audio, his head's going to turn on a swivel, and you can force it around 360 degrees. You can hear him sort of squeak in here. The only thing to keep in mind is that his chin sculpt is going to collide in with the spikes on his shoulders. And with that being said, his shoulders do have these giant pads. As you go to spin the arm around, you will notice that you can force it so this way his arms go straight up. But something to keep in mind, those pads will collide in with the body, causing some rubbing. So do be careful there. I tried to really crack this guy and turn him at the waist, but there's going to be no waist swivel or further articulation until we get to the hips that spin around. And honestly, these really don't do anything except for frustrate me to get him to stand upright. The Baron of Hell is going to be exactly the same in terms of articulation, though I will say he does rock a significantly bigger chin. And though you can force his head all the way around, do be careful there because he is going to have spikes on his shoulders that don't move. His arms do move out into a V position. Actually, I would say that's closer to a Y. So be careful when you are putting him on the shelf if you do raise his arms. Now let's go ahead and move on over to a size comparison with Wave 4. The Mancubus is in the back there because he's pretty big. We'll take a look at him in the next review. And as you can see, in terms of scaling, I think they're pretty close to the in-game models. We never really get a good chance to mix and match and put them together as we please, but I think for making a Doom collection, these are going to be rather good. Now let's go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison with first the Baron of Hell. I do find that the actual figure here in hand is not as glossy as the in-game model, and I do feel that the figure is a bit more squat and squashed down than what we do see in the game. Most notably as well, it seems like there is a much more ferocious model in-game than what we do have in hand here. Otherwise, I do think that the detailing is captured very well, including the dry brushing effect that is only included in the top portion of the Baron of Hell's flame blades on his arms. So that's really cool to see. Regarding the Archvile, I do have to give him one of the best titles here. I think that the shading is actually going to be better on the forearms in terms of overall detailing compared to what we see in the in-game model. Otherwise, maybe the paint in the mouth could be a little bit better, but I think that this is going to probably be the most accurate one compared to the actual in-game figure. Unfortunately, we are going to lose some of the detailing when we transition over to the actual physical item. It looks like if we were to have the in-game collectible from Doom Eternal, it looks like it would be more so resin, whereas here in person it's a softer vinyl. But otherwise, I think aside from softening of details and maybe some shading, I think this looks nearly one-to-one compared to what we get from in-game, which is a huge compliment considering I don't really think any of the other Numskull Doom vinyl figures have been able to do that so far. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. I don't have my Wave 4 review posted yet, but I will say this much. Wave 3 is the best of the best so far, and if Numskull can keep this up, then these are going to be easy to recommend purchases moving forward for everything. So yeah, look out for the Wave 4 review, because unfortunately we are going to be taking a step back. I'm kind of putting my foot in my mouth, and I'm leading you on. But that's what reviews are for, just a little bit when you have a teaser anyway, right? Right. Yeah. If you're a fan of the Baron of Hell, if you're a fan of the Archvile, then congratulations. Your first two real collectibles of these guys. They're really friggin' good.
Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now, you've heard a lot from me. I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.